On here. Today I want to talk to you about perspective. Before we ever get to drawing the details, to adding in the features, before you follow that gut instinct to do that, there's a few things that you should take into account. And one of the main things is perspective. Now, here's why perspective is so important. Especially with doing a caricature like this one, it's important to know where everything's going to go for it to make sense. Another reason why perspective is so important, because it just gives that added touch to make it, even though this is a caricature, but it makes it more believable in the viewer's eye. And it makes your caricatures even more professional. So, I thought I'd share this with you, take you to the next level. Alright, now of course, I didn't just start drawing his face, her face, the bodies, and then the plane. But what I actually did was I took some time out to decide where everything was going to go and how they would relate to each other, which is perspective. Learning and seeing how objects are going to be their relationship with each other in a drawing. Because what you're doing is not just drawing, but you're almost creating a window to a two-dimensional world. Alright, so what I actually did to get to this point was this. The first thing I did before I drew the individuals, the plane, was I decided where my horizon is going to be. And that's this line right here. The next thing I did was I had to define where my vanishing points were going to be. So I put one here. Now there's actually two, but for the given subject matter and the size of the paper, this is just a sketch, the other vanishing point would be around here somewhere. So what I did, I drew lines out from the vanishing point, from both vanishing points, to kind of create a grid for me. This way I know where exactly everything was going to stand on the paper, or really to stand in the world. Okay, so, and keeping perspective realistic, but doing caricatured people, this is what I did. Now, a couple of other things that I kept the same, because I'm using, again, perspective, is that where his knees are, if you notice where the knee is, and where the horizon is. On her, where the knee is, and where the horizon is. Again, loosely drew them. I knew they were going to be there, and actually from this drawing I said, okay, you know what, I need to make them just a little bit closer. And that's what I did. Okay, with the plane, okay, I knew I'd see the bottom of the plane. Had to find some good pictures of a plane. This is actually a bride and groom who will be getting married next year. And, of course, he's in the Navy. He's a pilot. And she wanted a caricature of the two of them together. Now, she had several caricatures done by other people, and she just didn't like it. And I know adding all of these things can take some time, so perhaps because they were on the spot, they weren't able to include that. So I'm glad I could help her out. And I knew what she wanted and what I saw, but wasn't sure if that came over with the others. So this is how I got to this point, but it just wasn't because I just started drawing. That's the main thing I want you to see. Before you just jump into drawing someone, you want to just use some principles. And a great principle to use is perspective. Perspective told me how big to make the bodies in relation to the head, where the plane would be coming from. Just several things that you can do to just amp up your drawing skill. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know.